Hello, hopefully everybody can hear me. There we go. Let me get live streaming on, because I have to. Anyway, how is everybody? So, welcome to Coffee Chat again. Yeah, so much to get through. There's so much going on. I mean, but before we get into anything, I mean, we've got new events coming. We've got an update coming with Tech Tree Lines. We've got a really bad delay on the chat because I've got the delay. Bear with me a minute. It's because I've got a delay on the. That should be better. That should be better. Maybe. Maybe not. This is what happens when you do streaming. Maybe 200. Is that better? I suppose maybe. I don't know. Hang on. Got to try and work out the delay, guys. Bear with me. There seems maybe the delay. It's caught up. Okay, good. Won't look so bad now. Right then. Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? Anyway, we've got a lot. No, there's still a delay, and I don't know what the delay is. It's because I tinkered with when I was doing the live streams, so I think the voice may be slightly out of sync with what I'm saying, or maybe not. I mean, that looks a little bit better, I guess. Anyway, how's everybody doing? We've got a lot to talk about. We've got new Tech Tree Lines coming up in a new update. We've got new events, quite a few of them coming up in the new update. We've already got an event already in. We've got a new tank in containers, and obviously we've got the tours that are running down, and maybe other stuff, whatever you guys want to talk about. I don't know. It all depends what you want to chat about. So before we kick off with anything, let's have a look in the store. And well, these offers here. This IS 29045 and the Motley Trap camo. Wow. This is from this. The tactical airdrop, which is, I'm struggling to load at the moment. But anyway, so that's from that. That's what these little barry thingies are. Okay, so you play games and you obviously get these. The IS-6 with combat trophies, that's not too bad for a price if you don't have an IS-6. I mean, 5,500 gold. You get the IS-6, the garage slot, all the equipment on lock. You get the legendary camo, you get the attachments, you get 500,000 credits, you get 30 days of premium, which alone is a shed load of gold, 25 times 5 XP certificates, and a Blitz Order and a legendary avatar. I mean, that's not a bad offer, to be fair, as offers go. I mean, as I said, if you go into here, if you want, sorry, not there. If you want 30 days of premium, it's going to cost you 2,000 gold. So effectively, you're getting a lot. You're getting a lot for 3,500, not for 5,500. You know, it's not bad. You got the STG and mystery boxes for 15,000 gold. Now, what you get there, you get 3 mystery boxes. Now, the mystery boxes, well, they are what they are. They're a mystery. You don't know what you're going to get. To be fair. Each mystery box includes 2 certificates for, well, actually, the mystery box contains quite a lot. It's a mystery box, you know, so you don't know what you're going to get. But, I mean, the STG itself, I mean, it's a nice tank. Some of us like it. Some of us don't. I don't think it's that bad, remembering it's a medium, it's not a heavy. So it all depends. You may like it, you may not like it. 15,000 gold, wow. You can get the tank on its own for 12,500. That's quite expensive for a tier 8, let's be honest and frank. So my advice would be, you know, it's not that unique. You can wait for it to come down in price. We've then got the 5 Great Victors, the IS-2 1945, which you can get if you do the game, you get those things for the airdrop. The ISU 122S, the T-34 Rudy, which is a fantastic tank, the Cromwell B, and the T-34 85. Plus you get all the garage slots plus you get all the equipment unlocked, plus you get the legendary camos. Well, there's only one actually. There's the Berlin for the Cromwell and the Berlin for the IS-2, because the rest already have camos. That's not too bad, to be fair. And you're getting 5 tanks for 10,500. Admittedly, they're tier 7s and tier 6, but you know, you're getting 5 tanks, and if you haven't got the tanks, then that's not a bad deal. Then you got the Courageous Allies, which is 6,500. That's only 2 tanks. Which, well, you know, basically 2 tanks. And you get the T-34, the Rudy, not the Victory, the Rudy, and you get the Cromwell. Or you can get the Weapons of Victory, which is 5,500, which is basically the Victory and the IS 122S. Again, not bad pricing, really. The Lorraine and the T-54 Mod 1, well, they're still in there. So we talked about those last week. The Blaze is still in there along with the Taker 9 into battle. These are from the spring season, along with Reach Thirst Boost. The Avatar containers, they're all still there, along with all these other packs. So everything's still there. What about the bundles? Wow, this is where it gets interesting. Bundle number 1. 3 Object 260 containers. Now, the drop chance for the tank is, I think, 5%. Now, some people have been lucky with this and managed to get it. It's still going to cost you $10 in real terms for those 3 containers. You will get a charm, and now I think it's 25 charms. Now, that doesn't sound too bad when you look at it this way, but you only get 1 of these, okay? Which means you have to roll all the way down for the proper containers. 10. Now, you need, to guarantee the tank, you need 2 of those and 1 of those. So that 329 dirhams, because I'm in the UAE, works out at about, I think it's about $80 roughly. So let me just work it out. So it's 330 dirhams really. It's $90 basically. So that's $90. So you need 2 of those. So that's going to bring you to $179. And then you got to spend another 165 dirhams, which is $44. You do the math. That's $224 to guarantee you the tank, by the way. That's a guarantee. That's a guarantee. Now, that's if you don't get it dropped. That's if you just want it on the charms. So be mindful of this, guys. I mean, that's quite expensive for a tank, $230 odd. You know, so be mindful of that. It's quite expensive. It is quite expensive. But I know people who've got it in the second drop box or the third drop box or even the first drop box. But that's the gamble. So just be careful. Just be careful. Okay. So just be mindful of that. Then you got this one, the Soviet invasion, which is 1 tier 8, tier 9 or tier 10 vehicle. Drop chance of the vehicles is 10%. So you could get the T-22, the K-91, blah, blah, blah. But you could still have a look at it. If you already have the vehicle, you will get compensation will be 3,750 gold for a tier 8, 5,000 for the tier 9, and 7,500 for a tier 10 vehicle. So you're spending $10 you may not get, because you just never know. Soviet invasion number 2, but you get 2 chances there. That's 3 drop boxes. You only get 1 there. So again, be careful, because there's no guarantee you're going to get the T-22. You could get any of those. And knowing, you know, you could be unlucky and get the T-2020. Imagine that. Imagine how annoyed you will be. Then we've got the Battle Pass. That's still in there, of course. Then we got the Nimble Platoon, which is disappeared. All of a sudden, I click on something, and all of a sudden, all the bundles go. Well, we got through the main bundle anyway, which was the T-60. So, what about that tank? It's not bad. Come on. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. It depends what you want from your tier 10. I mean, I rolled out in it this morning a couple of times. I've rolled out in it before, but I rolled out in it this morning a couple of times. And, you know, it's not that bad of a tank, if I'm going to be honest with you. It's a medium, remember, it's not a heavy. I mean, strictly speaking, it was allegedly the IS-7 prototype. Odd fact, the IS-7 is the Object 260. It's just the way it works. So they've sort of made this tank to sort of look like a condensed, lighter version of the IS-7, taking into account that the IS-7 was the heaviest tank that the Russians ever made. So they made this one a bit lighter and a bit more nimble. It's got, you know, a decent turn of speed. I don't know if it was my ping this morning or whatever, but I was struggling with penetrating some of the shots. But Juicy Tender Steak assures me the penetration isn't a problem. So, you know, I take his word for it. I had fun in it, to be honest with you. I mean, I did have fun in it. This isn't a spectacular game, I must admit. I only played about 3 or 4 games in it. I don't have it on my actual account. But, you know, you're getting some good damage coming out of it for a medium. I mean, that's 455 there into a VK72. You can bounce things on occasion, so, you know, it's not like the worst tank in the world. The price, though, well, it's not a good price. That's the only thing that really puts me off, is the pricing, because it just seems really, really expensive. And, you know, like I said, you might be lucky. You might be lucky. You might get a drop. You know, one of those, 1 or 2. But to guarantee the tank, it's going to cost you a lot of cash, to be fair. I mean, 200, next to, you know, almost $250 to guarantee the tank is a lot of cash. If you've got to get, I mean, that's assuming you have to get 25 charms. I don't know. If anybody's out there and they've bought a couple of crates, can you let me know how many charms you actually need to get the tank? Because if it is 25 charms, then it is going to set you back a pretty penny. But, you know, as a tank goes, it's okay. I don't see it being a tournament tank. I can see people having fun in it. Are they going to have as much fun as they do in the TVP? Well, maybe not. To be honest with you, I don't think this is as much fun as the TVP. I think the TVP is it's a great fun barrel of laughs tank. This one is just, wow, it's like a cut down IS-4, if I'm being honest with you. It's neither brilliant, it's neither bad. It's nothing spectacular, it's nothing special, nothing truly amazing. But it's nice. Oh, it is 25 charms. So that is expensive, NetForce. That works out. If you want to guarantee it, that works out to be a very expensive tank indeed. So, but as you can see, I mean, I'm not setting the world on fire here. And I was on my press account. Being on my press account, all these stupid bloody pop-ups keep coming, which are really annoying. Because I haven't played many games on my press account, so I'm still getting like the new tutorials coming up, which I think is fantastic, but it's just annoying. It is annoying because it's like, get away, disappear, go, get off the screen. I mean, if I was in a low tier 10 game, you know, just learning the game, then I wouldn't mind it. It'd be great, but I'm not. I'm in a tier 10, and it's frustratingly annoying, to be honest with you. But I mean, I didn't do much there, but I still got a first class 2.2k damage. I mean, I did other games where I was averaging about 3k, but we didn't win because the teams were, well, Saturday teams. So they weren't that bad. I mean, I'll show you one more replay in the damn thing where I get absolutely wrecked, I believe. But I still get a first class. Mainly because my team decided that it wasn't going to help. It was just going to sit at the back and do what you know, Saturday teams do best, which is, well, not much really. So let me just open it. Let's get that one up and running as well. I think it's this one here. Yeah, it's this one. But this is just what Saturday teams do best. They sit at the back and do whatever they want. But I mean, I enjoyed this game. I had a bit of ping on this one. It was fluctuating between 250 and sort of 150. Which I thought was a bit, you know, it was a bit eek. It was a bit too much. and it makes it very difficult to play. Excuse me, I'll just take my webcam off for 2 seconds. There is a reason, and I'm not going to tell you what. I'm going to have a cigarette. Simple as that. There we go. But again, I mean, it's like I said, you know, getting 40 odd, almost 50 kilometers out of it here, it's not a bad tank. You know, it's got a little bit of depression, not much. But, you know, I don't think it's a bad tank. You know, not struggle with this, you know, decent alpha. As I said, I mean, I think I was struggling with Pen because of the ping and the loss rather than anything else. Bounced the IS-7 there nicely. Put another, missed him completely there. That was just a bad shot. So yeah, I had fun in it. I did have fun in it, but it's not on my main account. I don't have it myself. As I said, this is on my press account. So, you know, am I tempted to get it myself? Well, the honest answer would be not at the moment. Not really. I'll see how it goes. Because I just think this. Yeah, I'm not telling anybody how to spend their money. It's up to you guys how you spend your money. If you want to spend your money on containers, then who am I to tell you not to? If you've got the spare cash, but I do think that to guarantee the tank is a bit too expensive for what it is. Hey, Swisspot, how you doing, mate? You know, considering the fact that Europe's been in lockdown, we've had COVID and all that sort of stuff. I accept that they got to make money, but you know, just make it within reason, guys. Seriously, if you're gonna do charms, guarantee the tank. You know, tell people to guarantee the tank, and you spend $200 odd bloody dollars, or well, almost $250 to be fair. Because you know, just be honest and open, and then people can make a decision. It's the reason why I haven't bought any containers yet for this tank. Don't get me wrong though, like I said, I do like it. It has a place in the game, and I'm sure a lot of people will have fun in it. And I'm sure a lot of people won't. And you know, this is where I said that the team doesn't help. So if you look on the mini map, I've got an FV Death Star right behind me, fully loaded by the way, who's doing nothing. Literally doing nothing. And I'm like, oh, hang on a minute, guys, come on. Give me a bit of a help. Look, there he is over there. He's fully loaded. He's done nothing. And I was like, seriously? Come on. So I said, try helping maybe? And then the FE comes back with, no. Ready? I helped nobody, basically. Like, okay, fair enough. No one helped me. You're a Death Star. Who's going to help you? Nobody pushed you. It's just absolutely crazy. Yeah, no, and I thought, okay, fair enough. Can't really argue with that. And yet, no, I don't disagree with you, Swiss. I think it is balanced. I don't think anything about it is bad. Not, and then he goes out and kills the FV. So, yeah, what to do? Had he had helped me earlier, maybe I would have got a better class of medal. Who knows? But it was okay. I mean, I did okay in the end. 3k. Got this guy down here, look, you know, he did 900 damage, and that was killing the Death Star that I asked him to help me with. So thank you very much for that, appreciate it. So yeah, I mean, it's okay. But that's what's in the store at the moment. Now, more importantly, what's coming? Well, in update 8, we are going to have the new American Tech Tree line. Apparently. The Yos. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, the talking point is on the Yo at tier 10. So it comes with 2 guns, 105mm and a 120mm. Now, yes, this tank has been under test, and there has been some there's been some information leaked about the test version of the tank. Well, a test version of a tank is not a tank that eventually goes out. And then you get some people doing videos saying, oh, it's been nerfed to oblivion. Well, that may be, but when they're under test, they're there to discover whether they need to be nerfed or buffed. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, when I saw the details of that tank on Blitzhanger, it was always going to have a nerf. Just depending on what the nerf was going to be. I don't think it's going to be an OP tank. I just don't know. but we will see. But that comes in 8 points in update 8. So, I mean, we're getting a new Czech line here. Another American heavy line. They are strange and bizarre looking tanks. I'm not going to lie. I mean, they are strange and bizarre looking tanks. But it's going to be fun, I think. They're going to be fun. It's going to be interesting to see how people play them. I think you'll find Galactic Tech, some other tanks are being brought in as collectors or premiums. So you have to wait and see on that one. So you might get them that way. So it'd be interesting to see how that works. Then we got some more events. I mean, one of them's a battle pass, so it's not really an event, it's just a battle pass. So, you know, be mindful of that. Okay. Or replay from an unknown guy. That sounds intriguing and spicy, to be fair. Replays from an unknown guy. Oh, it's you. You're not that unknown. So anyway, going to the events. So we're going to have the birthday event, and there are basically 3 events, okay, plus a battle pass. So what we're going to have a birthday event, and that sort of comes into 2. You got this shooting gallery thing, where you can win one of 2 tanks, a brand new, what effectively looks like another Panzer IV, and you can win the Kunstpanzer. So I think the Panzer IV is the first one out. In fact, let me get the bump up that Wargaming sent out, so we can read through it, because it's much easier that way than me trying to remember off the top of my head. Where is it? I was sent it. Here we go. So let's have a look. So what can we expect in 8.0? Well, we can expect the following events. There will be a holiday, there's going to be a holiday garage where you can go to the amusement park for the 7th anniversary celebration. There will be many attractions. There will be a shooting range where you can warm up and win a souvenir. Everything is pretty simple, so they say. So the main prize is a brand new tier 5 German medium tank with excellent alpha, average dynamics, but not outstanding armor or penetration. It would be easier to get. Just do what you do best and win, is what they say. They don't say exactly why, but anyway. Then say, if you win, well, do you want to show off another skill called High Striker? What is needed? Well, here you will have to give all your best, because for the first time in the game, a new German tier 7, the Kunstpanzer light tank, is at stake. It's compact, dynamic, fast, aims quickly, shoots effectively, but you need to pay careful attention to the briefing. We will show skill for a week. It's going to be causing damage every day and a lot of damage. The more damage you get, the higher the level of the tank, the more damage it will deal. We will support you, i.e. the game, with awards all the way. You will definitely not leave empty-handed. There will also be a souvenir shop where you can grab something cool. Admission is totally free. All you need to do is attend. So those are the events, basically. So there's going to be like this birthday event, there's going to be a shooting range, and then there's going to be there's a souvenir shop, and then there's going to be this clearly do damage as you go through, you know, the normal sort of events that they have. So that'll be an interesting one. Then we're going to have the battle pass. I don't know what the tank is for June's battle pass. All I know is that it looks like an AMX, and it's painted like a racing car, and that's all I know. And they're saying that it's a bright tank that looks like a racing car, along with holiday avatars and camouflages. So again, you know, it's going to be a normal, everyday type of battle pass. There are again going to be some graphical updates, aesthetics for the game, basically. First and foremost, we're going to have what's called dynamic suspension. So in update 8.0, we're adding the new dynamic suspension functionality, a feature that players will have been waiting for a while. It will not affect the gameplay, like the rollback of gun barrels or traces on the ground, but it will only add visual authenticity to your battles in general. It says that it will look at the key features are it uses a realistic physics model in how it will have track roller movement, track tension and sag depending on the undercarriage design, the relative position of the drive and idler wheels, the presence absence of carrier rollers, and the size and location of the track rollers, etc, etc. It will be available on all tanks in the game, and for each it will be configured individually in accordance with its design feature. It is enabled by the corresponding option on the graphic settings screen if it's supported by your device. It is also enabled when the high preset is selected in the graphics quality settings. This functionality has certain system requirements, but many players will be able to enable it. Now, I'll get onto that in a moment. Actually, we'll get onto it. Well, yeah, I'll get onto that in a moment, because there's another visual effect that they're bringing in. Spicy, what on earth was going on there in that replay? Great mastery, by the way, but I'm still trying to work out what on earth was going on in that replay. I mean, that was just craziness at a craziness level. Now, I want to have a look at, I'm going to play you, while I talk over the top, a very, very OP replay from Endgame. This is Isle of Susie Bay. And I know some people have seen this, but boy, this is a great replay. The other visual is going to be the quality. So there's going to be new physically accurate rendering of the materials and lighting technology that uses the principles of light distribution in the real world. This will make metal, fabric covers, rubber rims and other materials look more realistic, and the tanks themselves will have a global lighting scheme that is unique to each map. In practice, this means that if you saw my video or Meads' video or Aminet's video or the World of Tanks Blitz official video, they show you a couple of tanks rolling out and it shows you the bouncing of the lights. It will also have effects of mud or snow. Yeah, so as the tank moves across the battlefield, it will gradually get dirty. It won't have an impact on the gameplay, so your tracks aren't suddenly going to get clogged up, but it will start to get dirtier and dirtier and dirtier. There will be some dirt at the start of the battle, but it'll accumulate during the battle. The other thing that you'll get some water effects. So if you go driving through the water, the tank will get wet and the adhering dirt is then washed off, and then the tank will have a wet effect and then dry up. So these are just sort of graphic effects to make the game look a bit more interesting and realistic. Now, settings. This is the interesting part. The tank quality switch in the graphics settings will work differently. High will now activate ultra settings for vehicles that have already been redesigned for the new visual quality. Medium is now the former high, and the former medium is now the low. Owners of old or weaker devices don't have to worry too much, because the previous low settings for the tanks did not differ much from the old medium ones, and there will be no noticeable change in the picture and the performance. Now, I have been told on good authority from Wargaming that any device from 2018 onwards will not struggle with any of these settings, with these graphics, so don't worry about that. The other thing is that the visuals will be immediately available for the new American Tech Tree Heavies, as well as the German premium Kunstpanzer. It goes on to say that each tank in the game will need to be reworked to enable a new quality. The process will not be quick, but in each version we plan to rework several existing tanks for the new visual quality, so all new technology will come out with new quality support. So that basically means every time they do an update, they'll probably work the graphics into a particular line. So it's not all going to be at once. Basically, you're not going to have all these visuals immediately. It's going to take time, guys, basically. That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. We've already touched on the new branch of the heavies. Basically, it's the M7 Yo, the M7 Yo, the M3 Yo, the M5 Yo, and the M6 Yo. The M7 Yo, oddly enough, is a tier 7. The M3 is a tier 8. The M5 is a tier 9, and the M6 is a tier 10, as we said. So those are the ones that are coming. It's 4 tanks, clearly. But there may be others coming at a later date, but they may not necessarily be tech tree. So you need to keep your eyes open for that one. Well, Treadhead Pete, it would be nice, wouldn't it, if they reworked the matchmaker? It would be nice. Just going through the chat because I was missing the chat there as I was reading all that baloney. So that's what we're going to get at 8.8. I don't think they have reworked the MM, to be fair, Treadhead. Galactic Tech, like I said, anything produced after or released after 2018, platform-wise, iPhones, iPads, tablets, etc., they're telling me should cope without too much problem. In fact, with no problems, is what they say. So, I don't know. What worries me is that you're seeing a replay now and you're seeing a bit of lag, and I've had this all day where there's been lag on the servers. So, it'd be nice if they sorted the lag out, to be honest with you. But
that's the issue on the weekends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is an issue on the weekends, I understand. But it'd be nice if they got rid of it, yeah? I mean, if we're getting lag now, what we're going to get when we get improved graphics is my query.
Maybe they're working... The servers are lagging because they're kind of working on that.
That's a good idea. It's a good thought. Didn't think of that. But, yeah, that could be. Hi, Persia. How you doing? I don't know how you pronounce your name properly, mate. I'm really sorry. My Spanish is non-existent. Literally non-existent. So you'll have to tell me how to do it properly. Next up. Now, I showed this replay last night. Now, I don't know if I should be showing this replay, but I'm going to. It's the replay came to me by another source. I'm not going to disclose the source. It wasn't sent to me directly by the player. But we're going to have a look at it. And, well, I want your opinion, basically. I did try to get some opinions on this last night when I was doing the tour. We're not interested in the guy driving the ST, whose replay it is. It's the VK72, which is just there, as you can see on the left-hand side. So study the replay and keep your eye on the VK72. This is a genuine game. This is not from a test server. It is not from a test server. So...
Ah, you're talking about that game.
Yeah. So bear that one in mind, guys, because I really love opinions on this. Because I personally can't work out what's going on. Again, sorry about the lag. It's not me. It's the game server. It's been terrible today. I told you when I was playing earlier on the test on the press. I speak Russian, but somebody tells me on good authority what he says is the VK72 is let me have all the damage. Is what he says. That's what I'm told. My YouTube studio's gone a bit haywire. I don't know why. Seems a bit weird, quite bizarre, to say the least. No, it's still churning out. I think YouTube's having a bit of a fit as well. Yeah, I think YouTube's having a bit of a hissy fit also. Let's find out. No, it's working okay. Bizarre that. So yeah, I'm getting lag here in the game. So this is the ST. Here comes the VK. As you saw, you sort of blocked a minute ago. So I'm going to now jump into the ST. Now the M60 is just shot. You saw that the M60 shoots the ST. Oh god, it's being a nightmare. Here he is. Here's the VK. So continue watching and let me know. Yeah, Galactic Tech. I think YouTube was having a hissy fit. At YouTube's end, that wasn't at my end. Yeah, it's being a bit. But YouTube being YouTube, what to do? So this is an interesting part of the game now. I don't know what they're saying. It's in Russian. I don't know. It's on the EU server, by the way. This game. It's not on the RU server. As I said, it's not a test account. These are genuine accounts. This is a genuine tier 10 game. So. Well, I want to file a lawsuit against the development team. Their happiness is that they do not live in my country. You'll have to explain that one, my friend. you have to expand on that, please. Eugène. It's still having me cut out. Really? I don't know why I'm being cut out. I mean, YouTube's working fine now. The microphone's working fine. OBS is working fine. There's no drop in the sound here, so I have no idea, mate, what's going on there. Dark, can you still hear me
I
properly?
guess it's yeah. It's
Yeah.
probably just some either YouTube or OBS is a little bit.
Right. My OBS is churning out fine. No drop frames. No issues on OBS. So.
Maybe look at your audio bar. Like, is it moving when you're talking normally?
Yeah, audio bar's working fine. It's working fine. No issues from audio at all. So I don't know why it's cutting out. Very strange. So that's that replay. Almost finished. As you can see, he's got one tank left to go. We're not rolling with this guy. It's a different person's replay. So as you can see, he gets a Raz, seven kills. So this is where it becomes interesting. 13,136 damage. That's right, you're reading that correctly. He did 13,136 damage. I mean, that's a world record.
By rigging.
It's a world record, is it not? It's got to be, yeah. It's got to be in the Hall of Fame, surely. But it can't be because he only got 5,000 battles. So, what's going on there, guys? Come on, let us know. Show us your thoughts. Because it's got to be, there's something not right. And as you saw, the M60 shot and killed the ST1. Yet the M60 that didn't then shoot any more. And if I click open some of these, this is where it gets interesting as well. 5 shots fired. Okay. But they were all on the ST and the other tanks. Not a thing on the VK after he was the last man standing. So I don't know if they're bots. I mean, they look like bots. They got no avatars and stuff. But if they were bots generally don't have certain things in them. To be honest with you, some of them may be bots. I don't know, but bots generally. I mean, that could be a bot. I don't know because bots don't generally have battle counts, do they? I can't remember.
Normally shouldn't have. My guess what they are doing is they're sitting there in like a LAN party and use multiple devices and try to click in.
Well, there's a lot of AFKs in that game. A lot of AFKs.
Yes. I'm guessing there are like 30 devices or something that click in at the same time, or like one PC controlling 30 applications of Blitz, pressing the battle button at the same time and get a full room of at least 12 people from the same PC or at least the same room,
Mm-hmm.
and they do these stuff, I guess. Because
Possibly.
having 12 people randomly having in the same game should normally be the case, so it has to be a lot more devices and more accounts than just these.
It's got to be, hasn't it? I mean,
Mm.
yeah, I accept Cougar. Some of them are bots, but I can't believe all of them are bots. I mean, the M60 was doing well, and all of a sudden he decided to just ram everything after he killed the ST1. So I mean, the M60 was playing a normal game and then decided to ram everything after the ST. So yeah, I just it's a strange one.
That
I
thing with
mean,
the M60 is he's one person, the M60, who
mm,
has been getting the job to kill those who aren't from them. So he kills them with the support of the VK, and they just do their damage then.
well, it's interesting you should say that because the two tanks killed were done by the M60. Yes, that was it. There's only two tanks were killed by the M60, and the other ones were all AFK. Four AFKs weren't touched. No, four AFKs. I mean, if you look at this one, he's fired no shots. He did nothing. Didn't go anywhere. Um, the chieftain again, no shots. Didn't move. Didn't do anything. They were all AFK. So they only moved. They only focused on the two tanks moving, and killed those. And then as soon as those two were down, that M60 was only ramming the VK70. The sound's still clipping in and out. Okay, bear with me. Let me just restart the stream. 2 seconds. Okay, restarted the stream. There we go. So, I don't know if the sound is clipping in and out now. The stream has been restarted. So everything should be fine. I mean, I'm hearing everything fine. If I monitor it, everything comes out fine. So, I don't know. I don't know what the issue is. But yeah, I mean, that's just a bizarre game as far as I was aware. Not seen anything like that before. And I just found it very odd. Very odd indeed.
If you would check the player's account, you would see that he's doing this like all the time. Because like, I don't know how many battles he has, but most of them were rigged in that way.
Let's have a look. Where is it? Oh, it's the ST1, isn't it? It's not the. I was looking for the VK. Yeah, it's not the VK. It's the ST1. Let's just jump out. Let's have a look. It's very. Yeah, I just found it when I was looking at it. I was like, really? That makes absolutely zero. I mean, 13,000. 13,000 damage. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy. Average damage per battle is 6.2k, by the way. Average damage per battle. That makes... He's only got a 72% win rate, but that makes him one hell of a player. Especially for someone who's only been playing for just over a year. I mean, stats-wise, not too many battles, but look at that average damage. I mean, wowzers. Absolutely wowzers. Damage dealt just shy of 1 million. Damage received just over 180,000. How many Raz? How many Razes do we? I don't know because it doesn't give you the medals, does it? So I mean, can't really do much in there. Yet this one, the Tiger P, the VK, and the VK, he's never played them. Never played them. He's only been playing tier 8s and this tier 10. I mean, that's pretty good going. Pretty good going. So he's got 13 masteries in the WZ, 45 masteries in the VK. 45 masteries.
Yeah, just look at the average damage.
Yeah. Well, the average damage in the VK is... Where is it? Destruction ratio. Average damage is... Oh god, yeah. 10,797. Wowzers. How many... It's got 25 Raz medals on that tank. 25 Raz medals. I mean, why has Endgame not got this guy in their team? Why? Why is this guy not playing for Endgame? You know, I mean...
Because he's not one person.
If Endgame is out there, why have you not recruited this guy? I mean, he would be amazing. Let's have a look at the Lepi Kanza. He had 2 mastery badges there. Clear, but he's only played 11 games. 59 pattern. He hasn't got a mastery. FCM, he's got a mastery, but he's only played 1 game. So 1 game, 1 ace. And then the Chieftain, 1 game, 1 ace. But look at this. This is interesting. Tiger P, no games, no stats, but he's got 1 ace. How did he do that?
Ratings.
VK, yeah, no games, 3 aces, and the VK is a mastery. But that, look at this VK though. VK 72 is outrageous. Average damage 10,797. 25 Raz medals. Show rating result. And he's Silver League. He's Silver League. How is he Silver League? I mean, this guy's the best guy in the game. Seriously, best guy in the game. I mean, how do you get 45 mastery badges and 25 Raz medals on a tank with an average damage of 10,797, yet you're silver?
Because rating is a great game mode.
Look at his rating. He hasn't won a single tier 10 battle in rating. Upon calibration, he was bronze.
Wait, really?
Yeah, upon calibration, his rating calibration was 1,614.
That's like you have to do like 0 damage, lose each game to do that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Literally.
sure like that.
So Cougar is now saying, ta-da! Proof of point. So upon calibration, yes, he was 1,614. 1,614. He's played tier 8 and tier 9, and he hasn't won a single tier 10. So he's played 27 battles tier 8, 40 battles in tier 9, 3 battles in tier 10, and he's lost all points in tier 10. So all his points has come from tier 8 and tier 9, realistically. Yeah, I'm wondering, why is he not playing the VK72? He's such a star in that tank. Why is he not playing the VK72? I mean, I would. If I had an average damage of 10,790, whatever it was, I'd be like, yeah, I'll be calibrating super duper Diamond League. Would you not? I mean, it makes no sense, does it? So, what is that telling us? Yeah, but Spicy, Object 3 doesn't have 74 Razes on 1 tank. This guy has 25 Razes on 1 tank. 1 tank.
With how many games? 60?
Yeah.
In the tank?
In the tank. All his Raz medals. He's got 7. Well, it's just amazing stats. And, you know, yeah, it could be a bit of naming and shaming, but, you know, I'm genuinely intrigued. I'm genuinely intrigued. So, 62 battles, 45 mastery badges, 25 Raz. Okay, that's what we've got, just in 1 tank. In 1 tank. That's one hell of a stat for someone who's calibrating in Bronze League. But Treadhead Pete, but ratings shouldn't screw his stats up. Stats don't
It
count in
doesn't.
ratings, so it shouldn't screw his stats up at all.
Ratings just counts to the battle counter. And to the medals.
So yeah, I mean, it's to be fair, it's got to be rigged, hasn't it? There's no other
Of course.
Yeah,
explanation.
of course.
It's just got to be some form of cheating going on there. There's no other explanation whatsoever. Has he taken part in any tournaments? No. Why not? Seriously, Endgame should be snapping you up. Should be snapping you up. Endgame, get in there, quick! Only make him play the VK though. As long as it's only the VK. Because if you don't play the VK, then he's not going to be any good. Make him play the VK. But Endgame, 62 games, 45 masteries, average damage 10,000 plus. You've got to be taking this one on. So, yeah. But I want to know, I mean, he can't go into the Hall of Fame because he hasn't got enough battles.
Adults. Yeah.
But 13,136, that's a lot. That is a lot.
I mean, it would still be deleted from the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because it's rigged.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just makes no sense, does it? The only logical explanation is it is rigged. It's the only logical explanation.
Yeah.
There is nothing else. So, but I mean, I've got no evidence to say it is rigged. I'm just generously curious how somebody with such amazing stats isn't being snapped up by pro clans to go into the tours, or why he's not riding high in Diamond League with amazing stats. Because
I'm wondering when he will be featured on Mitzi's channel, like OP gameplay. World record.
unbelievable, eh? Yeah, I mean, ooh. Yeah, interesting one indeed.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to show that, and then is there anything else we want to talk about before we get to tournaments? Because tournaments is causing a bit of consternation, to be honest. If a Treadhead Pete, anybody know how to contact the player, I could really use whatever mod he's using. I don't know if he's using a mod. I don't know what he's using. Is the honest answer. So come on then, let's move on to tournaments. So we're almost at the end of spring season, and potentially Raid ain't going to make it even into top 16 at this rate. Now, is that because suddenly clans are getting better, or for other reasons? Now, one of the things I noticed yesterday, and I raised it with every on the stream, is going into the final group. 8 clans were drawn in the round 32, or round 16, or whatever it was. Yet 16 clans got a bye into the next round. How does that work? Is my question. How do more tanks get a bye into the next round? Surely that shouldn't happen. Surely you should have 18 clans playing and 8 clans getting a bye. I would have thought. Surely that's the logical way forward. So I'm a bit confused over how that happened as well, to be honest. And I don't know if anybody else noticed that. But, it's like really, really screwy MM. Now, I know we've got problems with 100% win rate accounts, etc., etc., etc. I get that, I understand that. But that still doesn't explain to me how more clans got a bye than clans who played the first round. I just don't understand that, and I wish somebody could explain it to me, because I just find it confusing. I really do. So does anybody have an answer to that? Because I'd be really interested. Anybody? Cougar, are you still there? If you're still there, do you have an answer to that? Because I'm utterly confused. I'm utterly confused. Hey, Napoleon. It really does leave me scratching my head. And it's on Blitz. It depends on how many teams there are in day 2. Well, it's 18 plus 8. So it's quite a few. I'm trying to get the thing to load on Blitz Assistant, but I've only got Blitz Assistant on my phone, and it's taken. Oh, there we go. It's finally loaded. So prove your skill number 4. There we go. Look at the chart. Have a look at the final stage. So round 1 of 16, we had Demon and Tertia, BPS and Sparta, Veil and Serenity, A1N1 and Kraken S. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8 clans. Getting a bye, however, into round 1 of 8 was S4W, BPS, Fuha, APA, Reckham, Astra, IW, Endgame, Quick, Cash, Loka, and Reti. So that's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Sorry, it's 12, not 18. So 12 clans got a bye, and 2, 4, 6, 8 didn't. That's really weird.
Yeah.
Now,
I'd assume it's basically just because 20 qualified in total. You like setting up like a kind of round of 32 bracket. The only way you can do that is having sort of like 8 prelim games to then set up sort of 8 matches in the round of quarterfinals. I think. I could be wrong, but
no, I think you're right.
I think
but
it's a consequence of the 20 players, yeah.
But it should have been the other way around then. It should have been 12 teams not getting a bye and playing in round 8, in playing in the round, and the other teams getting the bye. It should have been the other way around still, surely. It's the wrong way round.
I mean, maybe there's some logic to Wargaming's decision to do it that way, but yeah, I think it's the wrong thing as well.
Yeah, I mean, well, potentially. I mean, I'm not. By the way, I'm not crying sour grapes. I mean, Serenity beat Veil fair and square, but you know, Serenity are going out against Veil in this opening round. Yet we get certain clans. I mean, Serenity could have gone out, and Serenity's riding second place. They could have gone out. Veil could have beaten them there, and they could have gone out. When you've got other clans in there who who aren't as good, so to speak. So you're getting basically top 8 clans, meeting each other, when basically top 16 clans are going through on a bye. And I understand the win rate doesn't, has an effect on this. But it's the same with BPS. I mean, the BPS that didn't have the bye is effectively the rebranded ACVA, yeah? So we had 3 top 8 teams there. Serenity, Veil, and BPS. So it's 3 out of 8.
And I mean, BPS, the rebranded BPS, they got through to the final, didn't they? So, I mean, if you're seeing them sort of in those bottom 8, something is definitely going wrong with
Exactly. Now, Sparta beat them the other day. Sparta could have beaten them again yesterday, and BPS wouldn't have got through to the final. And, this is why I'm scratching my sort of head and saying I don't quite get how that worked. And okay, the win rate calculation is screwing everything up. I get that, I understand that. But for example, and this is, I'm not throwing mud at certain teams, but for example, BPS in Sparta, okay, BPS got through to the final. Sparta have been playing pretty well. Both these teams at the moment are in the top 8, both of them, okay, both of them. The team that got a bye into the next round, by the way, was APA's second team, not their top team, their second team. I mean, that just makes a mockery. It just really does. I'm not disparaging APA's second team. I'm just saying, how does that make sense in anybody's world? To be fair. I mean, if APA's second team wasn't part of APA, but was like APA number 1 and on their own feet, the chances are they wouldn't be anywhere near the final group, to be honest with you. They're not being nasty. I'm just not. It was. Thankfully, they did the job for APA's main team, who lost and didn't get through to the final stage yesterday. But how is it that APA's basically second team, sort of the other team of this is the team not filled with the best players, is getting a bye when BPS, who are in the top 8, have to play against Sparta, who is also in the top 8. I get it's the MM on win rate, but it's just pathetic. It's just, how in any sane world is that correct? It's just not. I'm not blaming the clan, by the way. I'm not blaming the clan. So don't think I'm sat here saying all these clans are cheating or whatever. It's not the clan's fault. I'm picking on Wargaming here. I'm trying to find out from Wargaming's perspective how, in a sensible world, is this correct? Because I'm confused.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same thing on NA as well. I mean, 3 out of the 4 clans that got buys were only top 16 teams. So
yeah, absolutely.
Looking at that, thinking, how is that? And yeah, again, it's sort of, you can't really blame the teams because, like, if you see an advantage and it's not getting sort of stamped out immediately by Wargaming, you're going to try to take it, surely. But at the same time, it's then sort of, I mean, you had Rain and GG going out, like one of those was going out in the first round.
First round, yeah.
Bramo,
yeah, exactly. I mean, I streamed it.
So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's bizarre. And, from my perspective, I was speaking to Amunet about this the other day. Generally, we've seen the viewing figures going down because even the people who want to watch the games are pissed off at the moment with this sort of malarkey. And people don't want to tune in to see this sort of stuff. They tune in to watch clans that they know and love, battling it out. If those clans are going out early doors, and a lot of people are, okay, Raid had a disappointing winter, but they were looking like they were on the up and up. And all of a sudden, they're in the position whereby they may not even make it into the top 16 here. Yet, we've got clans that, I'm not saying Raid has played particularly fantastically, but they haven't played badly, but they've been screwed over on the MM again, and on the win rate MM. So, is this good? I know Wargaming is saying they're looking at it, etc., etc. But realistically, is this good for the tournament scene? Is this what the audience want? It's certainly not what most of the clans want, but is this also what the audience want? Are we in danger of putting people off watching tournaments? In fairness. And the only way the tournaments are going to get, more funding, more resources, is if more people watch the bloody stuff.
I'm sorry, do I have permission to say a few words about my last post? I'm sorry for interrupting you.
No.
My dear
carry
friend.
on, mate.
Okay. Well, I want to say something from the aspect of my point of view of this game. I'm not a good player, average player, but what I feel as an average player, I simply have a feeling that I cannot progress further in this game. It's created in that way that this game is trying to keep me at some point, not allowing me to progress. And that's why I wrote this, that I want to start because I have this feeling. If I'm bad player, why I never have opportunity or chance to play against a player who are at my level. For example, I'm always the best in my team. That means I always get players who are above my knowledge, above who are under my knowledge.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry for my bad English.
No,
I'm
that's
really
fine.
sorry.
I know what you're
I
trying to
hope
say.
I hope that you can understand me because my English is not the best. But what is the point? If I get three, four, five people in my team who do zero damage, how I can prove? How I can improving? I can't do anything. System is always recognize me. For example, they see maybe this matchmaking see that I don't have 50% of win rate, and it always match me with bad players, and I simply don't know how to progress. That's the point. And we
Yeah,
all spend some money in this game,
absolutely. Yeah.
and spend our time, and we are doing a great job trying to improve ourselves and our playing. But system is just keeping us on this line, and we can't progress. I don't know what to do because I
Okay.
can't. I don't. Also, I want to say I
Yeah.
don't have opportunity to invite six my players to make a platoon formed by 5 or 6 players. I trust, and I would progress in the game. But I'm always. You can invite one friend to play with you, but when I do this, system is not allowing me. Uh, 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 always we always receive some people who don't know what to do in the game. That's the point. That's the point.
And I get your point, and it's a point that a lot of people have. It's a common sort of theme at the moment. A lot of people have this feeling. But firstly, let me just reassure you, the MM is not against you. It's not. They're not picking on you. What we've got is a dumbing down of the player base. Okay, and we've got a lot of players now who've literally rushed through the tiers, and this is a knock-on effect that was always going to be there when they introduced Update 5.5. Update 5.5 was the start point. It then got worse with boosters being thrown at you to get more XP, more credits, more this, more that. And then you got even better boosters. So, you get boosters for ×2. Now you can get it for ×5. And then it got even more surreal, whereby you don't even have to grind the tanks now. You can just automatically upgrade the tank with gold, and you can win gold. You can get gold in the drop boxes for the missions. You can get them in the daily crates, in the weekly crates, etc., etc., the containers, and you can get them because you get gold boosters. So you can grind gold, and don't forget, you still got the old way of looking at the whatever it's called, the adverts. So resources is not truly an issue anymore for players. Okay, there's plenty of opportunities to get resources. Not only that, if you go into the garage and go into into the offers tab, scroll right down to the bottom. I mean, you've got equal exchange, favourable terms, booster packs, etc., etc. Bundles are not showing, but you can buy most of this stuff for gold. So if you've got money, you can throw money at the game. It's not pay to win, it's pay to advance, it's pay to progress, because there's no guarantee you're going to win. And what you're getting is therefore this sort of this mismatch where you're getting very inexperienced players going into the upper tiers, which by default should be reserved for the more experienced players, because the idea of a game is to progress through the game. I mean, if you go out and buy any game to play on like an Xbox or a PlayStation or whatever, When you start the game, it doesn't give you the option to get to the final boss straight away. You generally have to play the game through the stages to get there. Blitz has changed. You don't have to do that anymore. You can literally pay your way into the upper echelons of the game. And that becomes then an issue, because you're then going to have a lot of players who aren't experienced, don't have the battles under their belt and the knowledge, rolling out in tiers that you have just reached, and therefore it will be holding you back. That I get. And you will have probably more losses than wins over time, because it is a team game. It's not an individual game. Now, if there was a game mode 1-on-1 or 2-on-2, then I'd understand it. Then it becomes more of an individual game. But it's not an individual game. It's 7 guys in one team against 7 guys in another team. And you have to rely on each other to an extent. That has been dumbed down. The only thing you can really do, in all honesty, is tune up to literally try and limit that impact. And you're saying there that obviously you know sometimes you haven't got all these people that you can rely on to tune up with in the game at any one time. But I mean, by all means, you're one of my YouTube members. You can always say to me, you know, can we tune up? And I'll always tune up with you. I'm not saying I'm a good player. I'm not a great player, but you'll increase your chances of winning, so to speak. You will increase your chances, not because you're playing with me, but because you're playing in a tune. That's all. And you know, you have a better chance then because you're more coordinated and you've got somebody watching your back. So it's I don't know if they're going to address things in this way or that way. I don't think they will. 5.5 will never be turned around. They have removed also the 5,000 battle cap. So there used to be a cap on if you had less than 5,000 battles, then you'd only meet players with the same amount of battle experience. That cap has been removed. So that doesn't exist anymore. So it's quite normal now for somebody with, I don't know, 40,000 battles to be in a team with people with 40 battles. It's hardly unlikely, but I've been in teams whereby there's been a guy rolling out in an E100 with only 200 battles or so. And trust me, the E100 is a bad example. Let me give you another example. I had a guy the other day in a Leo 1 who had 104 battles and a 42% win rate. Now, the win rate's not the issue. The issue is this. The Leo 1 is a very, very difficult tank. Okay, it's not an easy tank to play. I mean, I like playing the Leo 1. I'm certainly not a great player in it because it's a very difficult tank to play, and if you're a very skillful player, then the Leo 1 is much easier for you to play. And I would never advise somebody with such a low win rate, with such a low battle count, to go out in such a tank. Give yourself a sporting chance, because there's no way you're going to be able to play that Leo 1 effectively. Same goes with a tank like the FV4202. It's an incredibly difficult tank to play at tier 10. Incredibly difficult. And I've seen players with very low battle counts and very low battles. And when I say low battles, I'm on about less than 500. Rolling out in these, what I term finesse tanks. In other words, they require skill to play them. Whereas they're not noob friendly. The IS-4, for example, is a very noob friendly tank. Okay, so going out in a super heavy like a Mouse or an IS-4, if you haven't got the experience, you haven't got the battle counts, and you haven't got the win rate, you're going to be more likely to survive and make an impact on the battle in those tanks, because then they're not requiring a high degree of skill to actually be quite effective in them. Whereas the likes of the Leo 1 and the FE4202, etc., require that skill. So this is one of the problems. This is one of the problems that the game is experiencing as it's sort of evolving. One moment. So Grumpy is saying the 5,000 battle cap still exists on the RU server, so you've been told. I don't know, is the honest answer. I don't play the RU server. I don't know if they're actually... See, the migration of the RU players, it could be down to numerous things, to be honest with you. It could be down to numerous things. One of those things could be geopolitical tensions between certain countries, and I'd hate to speculate why so many RU players are coming across. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, to be honest with you. I certainly don't. I don't think having all these RU players coming over to the EU server is a bad thing. It's a good thing. But what is a bad thing is people are still rushing through those tiers, not bothering to learn the tanks. Now, maybe the guys who are migrating from the RU server are experienced on the RU server. That may be the case. So, it's understandable. They're re-rolls then, and re-rolls are always going to rush. Okay? So, that doesn't bother me. But I hear through the grapevine, and I don't know if it's true or not. I've never really played on the RU server. And it's a long-running debate that everybody, some people on the RU server say it's the best server, the skill levels are much higher, and some people say it's much easier. And it's a bit of both, to be honest with you. I mean, the RU server is a massive server compared to the other servers. It's huge. With it being such a big server, you've got a bigger pool of players. So you're going to have, more bad players and more good players all mixed up. So it will be a bit of both. So I don't really know. Yes. Jump in again. Come on.
Okay. Thank you so much for everything you said, and I totally agree with you. You was at a good point that the number of played games are very important. And that's the point. But what I wanted also to say, I noticed that on the internet you have some sellers, win sellers, and these statistic sellers who say you can pay us and we will make you a better win rate and better statistics for you. And they are playing on your account, for example, and such things. And that's what I wanted to say. That was the point when I said to myself, oh my God, something is not good. Something is not quite right. And something, if I notice this, then what other people who have money or something, they can improve their statistics, and then they can just come back on their accounts, boosted accounts, and playing like me, and and that's the point. And also what I notice, if in other games, in other multiplayer games, when you do some big changes in the game, big patches or something, then you need to reset everyone, and every player who joined the game at that moment start from the zero. And why we don't have this in this game? For example, so many tanks implemented in this game in the last year, and there will be also new tanks, and the game is not the same, absolutely not the same from the first moment of starting. And why wargaming is not just say, okay guys, let's move this line, and from this moment every player, let's start again from the zero. And I mean, that would be fair to everyone, because it's not about, this game is not about statistics. It's sick looking to play just for statistics. This game should be created to make pleasure to us. To
Absolutely,
make
that's the idea behind it. Yes.
To make us happy. And that's the point. If we are looking, running for statistics, and if that is not possible to get the normal way, then it's really frustrating. And it's not the point. That's why I say this against developers, because they make a game for statistics. They should make a game for let's start from the zero from everyone, and we will see in the next period, and then start again if necessary. Why we don't reset player statistics? That's the point.
Well, the reason,
Why?
should we jump in there? I mean, the reason being, in just to be brutally honest with you, is wargaming is a business, and they earn money this way, basically. And they came up with the decision that in 5.5, for example, they were not retaining new players, and new players are the players who are going to spend money rather than the older players. So they came up with the idea of how do we keep the new players enticed in the game, and that's why they did what they did. And from that point, it's been their tactic has been incredibly effective, and I can't knock that. But that's a business decision, and that's based on money coming through the door and earning wargaming their profits, which, you know, all businesses go that way. We look at it from a player perspective rather than a business perspective, whereby we play it to have enjoyment, to have entertainment, to escape from reality to an extent and blow stuff up to our heart's content, but also feel good about ourselves and to see ourselves developing over time. And it's that latter part that at the moment is missing, because if you don't feel good about yourselves and that you feel that you're improving over time, then the chances are you're not going to enjoy blowing shit up, which means the chances are you're not going to be escaping from reality. You're going to get more toxic, which is what you see, which then has the next knock-on effect, which you're not going to be happy and you're going to rage quit. So, you know, it becomes this sort of vicious circle. Moving on to the other issue that you mentioned about people offering to improve stats and stuff, that's always been around. There's just a lot more of them now, but that's always been around. And all I would say on that is, you absolutely anybody who's tempted to do this, you're absolutely stupid, because at one point you've got to stand on your own 2 feet, you know, and you're just throwing good money away. You're paying somebody to play the game for you, so somebody else is having the enjoyment, okay? Somebody else is having the fun, and somebody else is getting out of it. Now, it may give you good stats, but then you'll roll out once you've got your good stats and you'll start losing them again because you've learned nothing. What have you learned? Well, bugger all. Now, I do know of one genuine enterprise that will improve your stats or offers to improve your stats and your overall gameplay, but they don't play it for you. You still play the game. They just go with you. They take you into training rooms. They play with you in the training rooms. They show you how to do this and that. Then they take you out in a platoon for an hour or 2 hours or whatever it is, and they tell you what to do and how to play it. Now, admittedly, and I don't know if they've changed this, and I don't know if they've addressed this. When they first came out, it was mainly German, and it's PS13. Basically, it's affiliated to Raid, and it's run by Asamat and Rib R1B. There were 2 German guys, or I think they're Swiss or German, I can't remember. And it's their business effectively. But I've had good reports about that. The only downside to it is I don't know if they do it in languages other than German, so I'm not sure about that. I don't know what their pricing is, but I know it's about you. It's not about them doing it for you, if you know what I mean. They train you, they teach you, they hold your hand to try and get you to improve. They give you the tips that come from these pro players, and you get to play with guys in Raid and stuff like that. Which I think is it's a genuine enterprise, unlike some of the scammers who are out there saying, I will improve your stats. Because look, let me put it to you a different way. I could improve your, I could say to you now, give me €50 and I'll improve your stats. And all I'll do is play 100 games in tier 1. I'll improve your stats. I'll get your win rate up. But that's not going to help you. It's just going to get your win rate up. And you pay me $50 to basically spam tier 1. I mean, what's the point of that? There's no point in that. So be careful of that. Be careful of that. But there are plenty of YouTubers out there, as I say. I mean, I don't know what all YouTubers' deals and offers are, but a lot of them have YT membership, and a lot of that membership includes, platooning and doing this and doing that. If you guys are YouTube members of any of those YTers, it's a business deal, guys. If you're paying for a tier or a level in that YouTube membership that gives you that opportunity, then you need to say to the YouTuber, look, I'm paying for this, you need to take me out. And I'm mindful of that because Grumpy Old Tanker is currently in my chat. He is a member who gets platooning. I haven't been able to platoon with him recently because I'm doing the tours, but I actually need to go out with him and tune with him. And that's the obligation that I have for him being a YouTube member of my YouTube channel. So if you are members of YouTubers and you've got that membership and it gives you that stuff, don't be scared to tell them, guys. I mean, you're paying YouTubers for a reason, and we all have a basic YouTube membership, which is just getting funky things like avatars and shit. That's just the basic membership, but most of them then have other tiers, and it's those other tiers that give you other things like platooning, dedicated streaming, this and that. So if you've got any of those sort of benefits with any YouTubers, and always look at what the YouTubers are offering in their YT membership. Okay, I mean, it's great that you support YouTubers. Don't get me wrong, but you need to also get something back from them because that's what you're paying for. Yeah, you're not just paying somebody because they've got a pretty face and they sound nice. You also need to get something in return. It's a two-way deal. It's as simple as that. Now, every one of my YouTube members get preferential tunes on every one of my streams. Okay, preferential, that doesn't mean dedicated, but preferential. Now, every one of my YouTube members, and I think I think you're one of those YouTube members who is entitled, if I remember rightly, to have tunes with me. You need to send me messages, and you need to say, excuse me, Fugit, I'm your member, this is my level, you need to tune with me, please. Can we do this? And we'll set up a date, because that's what you're paying for, mate. And you've got to do that. You've got to push us. You've got to put us under pressure, if you know what I mean. And that will help you. I'm not saying, as I said, I'm not saying I'm a great player, but you're increasing your chances. You're increasing your chances of winning, and that is what's going to help improve your overall gameplay. It's not giving your money to somebody else to do it for you. Believe me, it's not. I mean, let me just check just a couple of things whilst I'm in my YouTube account. Although my internet is running a little bit slow at the moment, don't know why. So here we go. So for example, memberships. So I've got, yes. So let's have a look at the members. So Adelic, you're a member. I've got Von Manstein, a member. Grumpy, you're Legatus, so you get preferential. I've got Grumpy Old Tanker, who is in the chat. He is what we call a Praetorian Guard. Now, what my YouTube memberships give is, for example, if we look at level 1, which is Legatus, you get to talk to me on Discord and all that stuff, one-on-one and everything, and you will get preferential platooning. If you're Praetorian Guard, then you get all those perks, plus you get priority replays and priority platooning. And if you become a Praetorian Prefect, then you get a dedicated stream every month, which is just for you. It's just you and me in a stream for 2 hours every month. And you need to look at what the YouTubers are offering and take advantage of it, because there are some very good players out there doing YouTube, and they offer reasonable YouTube memberships. And if you really want to improve, then look around, see which one's a good player, which one you like, which one you get on with, and consider it. There's also Patreons. I don't know what they all do, but be careful with your money. Okay, don't just throw your money around willy-nilly. Yeah, get something back is what I'm saying. get something back from the YouTube memberships. So that's all I'm saying, guys. And I hope that is useful, Odelic. I really do. And the next time I stream, by all means, jump in and we'll tune up. I haven't got a problem with that, mate. We will tune up. And like I said, I'm not the best player, but we'll have some fun. We may increase our chances in winning some more games. It's as simple as. So, what do you think about that? Are you still there? Yeah, you're still there in Discord. Oh, there you go. So you say, thank you for the advice. This gives me strength to go further. And it should. I mean, don't let anybody put you down, and don't look at things that, you know, oh, it's all against me. There is plenty of things that you can do to help yourself. Don't get me wrong. I'm not shitting on any other YouTuber. Okay, I'm not saying pay me, don't pay them, do this, don't do that. They've all got YT memberships. You know most of them. In fact, no doubt virtually all of you in this chat are subscribed to at least 90% of them. Check their memberships out, check what they've got to offer, and think, can I benefit from this? Can I improve my gameplay from this? And if that's the case, then by all means consider becoming one of their members. And then literally say to them, you know, I'm a member, I'm at this level, you owe me a tune, or you owe me a this, or you owe me that. Be nice about it, but just remember, you are paying for us. You're paying for it. It's not free. You know, it's not like, you know, as a YouTuber was like saying, well, you know, you're interrupting me. Well, actually, we're not interrupting you. I'm paying you. It's as simple as that. So, you know, don't be don't be shy going forwards, guys. You know, it's.
I mean, like, so many positive ways. Maybe we.
Oh, there you go, Jake. There you go. We'll be we'll be doing dedicated tunes as well.
Yeah. That's a good thing as well. It's not too much sort of money as well for these kind of things if you think about
exactly.
it. And
No, not really.
sort of every little bit to these YouTubers does help them. And yeah, I mean, I just joined on the Legatus one, which is what, $2.
Like so many positive ways.
And that's a pretty good deal for sort of tunes and everything. So yeah.
And this is the thing. This is what I'm saying to people. You know, as you said there, you just need to go around and have a look at the YouTubers who you're subscribed to, and think, well, do I want to do that, and do I want to do this? And at the end of the day, if you like them and they, you know, you think you can get on with them on the playstyle or learn anything from them, then by all means consider becoming one of their members, and then make them sort of, you know, uphold their side of the bargain, so to speak. There's no harm in that. It is a two-way street, and a lot of people don't realise that about YouTube, but it is very much two-way. Yeah, I mean, it's nice that, you know, it's nice to sit here thinking, yeah, I've got this massive ego. Everybody's watching me because I'm absolutely fantastically great. That's not the real world. The real world is Blitz YouTubers, most of them, to be fair, are doing something to try and help the game. Okay, so most of them are doing, I don't know, videos on advice and videos on this and videos on that. A lot of them will do streams, live streams. Not all of them will offer memberships where you tune with them, I get that. But those who do live streams, I would say at least 50% will do some form of membership where you can tune with them. Then, you know. So, well, sorry, yeah, NetForce, there is that. And this is what I'm saying. You as the individual have got to work out what you want to do. Is it, you know, what's it about? You know, am I going to join this YouTuber who has got an ego and it's just about him or her or them? Or are they really going to help me? Are they really going to do this? Are they really going to do that? And that's a decision you can only make personally. You know, nobody can make that decision for you. But I do get your point, and that's one of the traps on YouTube, because in some cases it can go to people's heads. It's both a beautiful platform and at the same time a terrible platform, if I'm being honest with you. And I keep saying to a lot of people, you know, you're not going to be a super duper mega famous person doing Blitz YouTube. You know, you're just not. it's a very limited audience. Okay, it hasn't got the level of players as, say, World of Tanks. So World of Tanks has got, what, 1 million odd players. Blitz has got in total, what, 200 odd. So you're pitching to a very limited audience. So you're never going to be world famous, and you're never going to be a millionaire from doing Blitz. So you have to think about, why do you do Blitz content? Well, I do it as a hobby, normally. I don't do it to earn money. Very rarely earn any money from YouTube. I do it because the reason I started this is because I'm an average player. There are a lot of other average players out there who are just below my level, and with my experience they can learn more. And that's the reason I do it, to try and make the game more entertaining and stuff like that. I don't personally think it's all about me. I mean, I really don't. Which is why I don't do videos like every day or whatever. Oh look, my camera's frozen. Typical. So, but you have to choose the YouTubers, and there's some great YouTubers out there, guys. There really are. There really are. And also watch those YouTubers who don't do platooning but do streams, like the pros. And you've got the likes of Juicy Tender Steak, Object 3, etc., etc. And you can watch their gameplay, and you can pick up tips from them. Retro Guy. What I'll do, I'll put it in the thing. There's a Discord link in the write-up. You can either send it to me PM or DM on Discord replays, or you can send it to this email address I'm putting in the YT chat. So by all means, send it. What else have we got there? So yeah, I've got those replays, Grumpy. This is one of them now. Look. Oh, exactly, NetForce. I mean, everybody's got their own quirks and their own different thing on YouTube, which is why, I don't actually say I don't have any grudge against any YouTuber in real terms. But yeah, I mean, it depends what you want. Hey Andy, how you doing, mate? How's it going? So it's just the way it is. But as I said, if you're members and you've got those membership tiers, seriously utilize it. Seriously utilize it. And I mean, there's lots of community stuff. Oh yeah, Newbie to 9000, of course. He's a German. Is he German or is he Swiss? I can't remember. But he speaks in English and he explains things incredibly well. Yes, he does. He does. And of course, there's always His Royal Fatness, who again is an incredibly broken player, just like Newbeater and just like Juicy Tender Steak. And His Royal Fatness is very good at explaining almost everything. He's good at explaining his thought processes as he goes through the game. So, these guys are great to watch. And again, both of them no doubt offer membership levels of some description. I don't know what it is. And also, as I said, I mentioned earlier, NetForce said it's still ongoing. There's always PS13, but as I said, I don't know if they do this in any language other than German. So I don't know if they do it in other languages, I'm afraid. But it is genuine. I mean, it's not one of these shy like scammers who says, "Give me your account and I'll get your stats up." They are, for a fee, we'll show you how to play, we'll train you, we'll give you the tips, etc. No, that is true, Cougar. He is on Twitch, but not everybody watches YouTube. Twitch is obviously very good, and Kuma is also very good as well, yes. So there's plenty of people out there you can sort of get tips from. There really are. And so don't feel that, everything's against you. And by all means, even when you go into these streams, don't feel worried about asking those guys questions. I mean, even these pro players, just ask them a question like, what is a good tank for me to grind? This is my win rate, this is my level. And they'll give you an answer. They won't ridicule you. Nobody should ridicule you. Everybody is good and everybody is bad and everybody is mediocre. You know, I mean, I'm by no stretch of the imagination a great player or a good player. I'm an average player with some experience, and that's about it. And I'm not going to pretend I'm anything else. But I enjoy the game, and I enjoy going out there. And you will hear me shout and you'll hear me scream. But that's normal human reaction to everything. Oh, there you go, NetForce. Yeah, I know Rib does, but there are other parts of PS13, and I think some of them speak English or something. I don't know, is the honest answer. So yeah, I hope that's helpful, Odilic. I hope that is helpful for you. But I'll be doing a stream later today, so on EU. So if you're around, by all means, you know, say hello, remember me, I'm your YouTube member. We had a chat earlier, can we tune? And the answer will be, well, yes, we can. And, you know, there's other things as well. I mean, I put on my Discord, for those of you who are in my Discord, that they're always open to suggestions. YouTubers don't know everything. Yeah, they don't have all the ideas. They may think they do, but they don't. And it's much a tool for you as it is for them. Okay? YouTubers do it because A, they enjoy it, and B, some of them earn money from it. But don't feel that you can't suggest things to them. Who knows? Anything can happen at the end of the day. It's, as I keep saying, it's not all one way. Just remember that, guys. What else have we got going on in the chat? Anything? Is there anything else? Oh, I have no idea, Nighthawk. Didn't even know there was a Chinese rocket floating around anywhere. We don't get such news in this part of the world. To be honest with you, we get some, but not that. I don't know about Chinese rockets flying around. Sorry.
Yeah, I think the rocket, is it Long March 5 or something? I think it hasn't come down yet, but it's kind of out of control and about to crash anytime today, basically.
It's out of control, and gravity will do its thing eventually.
Yep.
Unbelievable, man. Oh, there you go. Grumpy old Tanker managed to get the 260 from his very first crate. So it can happen. It can happen.
Oh, how lucky! I didn't get.
That is lucky.
I didn't get it from mine.
Yeah, I haven't even tried to buy it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So
I thought I might as well spend £10 and see if I could get lucky off 3. I didn't get lucky, but I mean, got some boosters from it, so you know, it's not all bad.
Well, it's not all bad, but yeah. I mean, I haven't tried it yet, and I'm very. I mean, there's a lot of lag on the server. I'm just looking at the gameplay here, because obviously I've got a couple of windows open, and the game server is lagging really badly. You don't watch the BBC in the UAE. To be fair, NetForce, if I was in the UK, I wouldn't watch the BBC at the moment. I don't trust them, to be honest with you. But that's just my personal opinion, and let's not go there because we could rant on for hours. Sometimes that happens, Andy. Oh dear. Layla, I think you sent me the wrong replay, but not to worry. Sometimes that does happen, where you'll get what's called a ghost shell. It does happen. Sometimes there'll be... One of the things I hate with the game is when, you know, you fire at a tank, you see it hit, it does no damage, and then the guy goes, that one went right through him. Quite literally, yes. It went right through him invisibly, because it's absolutely done nothing. Not tracked him, not done a module damage. It's done nothing. So, which part did it go right through him?
Yeah. I feel that a lot more recently, there's been a lot more sort of variation in shots. Say you hit at the side of a tank, I don't know, like an STB or something that has quite wide tracks or spaced armor. It's become a lot more varied, whether you actually do any damage or you do just get a sort of, that one went right through kind of message pop up.
Absolutely.
It's
yeah, I mean, Yeah, I've seen some strange things going on. Which I mean, I had one the other day in a T62, and I was like, "Hang on a minute, I'm utterly confused. I've just and everybody on the chat was having a go at me saying, "No, you're just a crap shot," because you're watching a stream." And I said, "Well, hang on a minute. I'm in an E5. I'm in a T62A, aiming at the tracks of an E5, side on. How am I missing?" Not only that, I'm like 2 meters away from him. How am I missing? But it seems to happen, and you know, it is happening a lot more recently. So I don't know why it's happening a lot more recently, but it's happening a lot more recently. And I don't know if it's you know, there's something, they've tinkered with something in the RNG maybe.
Maybe,
I don't know.
maybe there's just some kind of client server desync stuff going on that they might try and patch. Yeah, who knows?
Could be that. But I mean, there always seems to be issues when you also have updates. So updates all seem to have sort of bring their own separate issues with ghost shells and this and that, and it takes a while to settle down. So, and we've had 2 updates recently. Don't forget, we had 7.10 or whatever it is, and then all of a sudden we had a sort of interim patch, because once they did the update, the update affected all Android devices, whereby they couldn't use the control buttons. So they had to do another patch update to rectify that. So you're doing update on update, and each update sort of puts a strain on things, and then other problems are seen. So sometimes ghost shells come around as well because of ping. Well, not ping, because of package loss. Ping is a contributing factor to a lot of sort of bad shots. So if you've got incredibly high ping, so for example on NA, it's virtually impossible for me to play in a light tank, because when I'm going out with 300 ping, it's incredibly difficult to play a light tank with that sort of ping. And you know, that's
the reason I'm not the light tank on my team. Yeah,
exactly. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. Whereas when I go out in Asia, I have much better ping, and then, you know, all of a sudden it's like, wow, I can use the track properly because my ping is much better all of a sudden. So, I mean, that also has a contributing factor. Your internet speed has a contributing factor. So it depends on your settings as well. If your settings are overloaded, if you've got an older device, then you know, drop your settings down, your graphics settings, because that does have an impact. So consider that. It'll make your game run a bit smoother. I mean, my game is running very slow at the moment, not because of the internet, not because of the graphics, but because the server is just lagging really badly. And it's been happening since yesterday across all the servers, and it's just horrible to play at the moment for me. I've got it, Retro Guy. Thank you very much. So you have to take those into account as well. I mean, I had a game earlier in the 260. I swore blind I shot the tank, and nothing registered. And then, like 30 seconds, you know, a couple of seconds later, it went, "That's got to hurt" or something. And then 460 popped up above the tank. I was like, my God.
Yeah, there has been that issue with sort of shot delay recently.
I've
noticed. I don't know whether with the most recent updates, it's been sort of you'll fire and maybe a whole second later, you'll finally see your shell marker pop up and it'll say it.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
had
know if
that
there's
this
just some
morning.
kind of desyncing going on somewhere along the route from our clients to the server. But yeah,
Possibly.
it is I try and make sure I sort of pre-aim everything very, very precisely and make sure I sort of can give myself enough sort of lag time in case that does happen nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, I had it this morning, and I didn't play yesterday. I was only streaming yesterday, the tours. But I played this morning on my press account, and I was having the same thing. You know, I was saying, "Wowzers, that's new. I don't know how that works."
Yeah.
You know, it's not massive. It's just a couple of seconds, but it seems to be big enough, if you know what I mean.
Mm.
And you think,
Well,
"Oh God, I
especially
missed
if
him."
you're, yeah.
Oh God, you know, oh God, I've missed him, and then it comes up a couple of seconds later. No, I didn't miss him. So how come it's been so delayed? It's
Yeah.
bizarre, absolutely bizarre.
We were having it in one of the tournaments actually last night. Was sort of shots was taking a while to to pop up.
Mhm.
Luckily, it didn't affect it too much because we we got pretty pummeled by rain. But yeah, it was sort of interesting to see you sort of fire, and then half a second later, it tells you that you've actually done damage.
Yeah, I streamed that game. Remember?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was pretty brutal. I mean, rain is rain, so we weren't expecting to really go out into the wind. But I don't think it was a complete steamroll, so
I think,
wasn't too
if
bad.
I remember rightly, you have to remind me now because I've sort of slept since then. But
Yeah.
I think the first game was brutal, not the second, or was it the other way around? One of them was more brutal than the other.
Yeah, I think in the second we sort of maybe just overcalled slightly. Because the second was one where they sort of came through town and onto our two mouse that were trying to anchor sort of spawn. And I think we just
Yes,
sort
I
of
remember now.
the,
Yes.
we didn't have the sort
You
of
didn't have the
mouse
mobility,
cover
no.
as much as
Yeah.
yeah.
And you lost one
and
of the
trying to
mouses
kite-
pretty
kite-
early.
Yeah,
Because
yeah, that's
he was
that
by
was
the
big
he was
problem.
by the A cap. He was by the A cap,
Yeah.
and they came hurtling through round the back of the A cap, and then took
Yeah.
took that mouse out really early, and then continued.
Yeah, we
their
were
push
sort
round,
of
so.
yeah, we weren't expecting such sort of an aggressive game. I think we sort of we were still half set up in positions to sort of cover the mouse, and then they pushed, and we we were sort of caught lacking a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, the first game was a lot closer. I think it was just
Yeah, it was.
rain is rain.
Yeah.
You give them an inch, they'll take a whole foot, and we got punished for it. I think.
Absolutely, and yeah, I was trying to say that in the stream that you can't turn around and say, "Oh, this clan is blah blah blah." I mean, it depends what rain turns up. Is it going to be the focused, extremely focused, we're going to pummel everybody rain, or is it going to be the laid back? Well, we don't really need to prove anything. We're top 8 anyway. We're pretty comfortable. So it depends, and then. I was trying to explain in the stream, these clans, you pro clans, you have strats, and you pick your meta to fit the strat that you're going to play. You have no idea what the other team are going to do. You don't know what strat they're going to play. You don't know what meta they're going to play. You can only guesstimate where they're going to go. You see the loading screen, you think, oh, they've got a shed load of E5s, they're going to go to the C cap, there's going to be a bit of a brawl,
Yeah.
and then they send them all to the A cap. And then you're like, hang
Well,
on
I think
a
they
minute,
had
that wasn't-
They had
they had
113s
113s,
in the
yeah, they
second
had
games,
113s,
and we were
yeah.
thinking, oh, they're just going to sort of use the speed of 113 to sort of boost up onto C cap. Hence why we sort of sent our mouse
Exactly.
slightly out of protection, and then they come hurtling through A cap, and we were taken a little bit by surprise.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's the
thing.
thing is sort of those reactions and trying to control everything is when you're coming up against a clan like Rain, they're always on top of it with stuff like that. And yeah,
Oh,
I think
indeed.
as well because obviously Rain didn't get through to the finals in the
No, they
first
didn't.
previous
No,
skill.
they didn't.
I think they were sort of taking a bit more seriously to secure that top 8 now, which
Yeah.
is again I think sort of one of these things from the win rate seeding and everything. I think was it
Well,
Jokers
even-
that they went out to? Yeah.
No, they beat Joker. Because I'm in Joker, and they beat Joker, and they
Oh,
went
right.
out to Apex,
Oh,
so they got to the final, and
Oh,
then
that
lost
was
to
it. Yeah.
Apex.
Yeah.
But Apex basically did what Rain did to you, to Rain.
Yeah.
It took them by surprise to an extent. And it's not to say Rain didn't play well, they did. But, and they played very well. And, you sit there and say, well, they didn't really put too much of a foot wrong. It's just that Apex, I think Rain underestimated them a little bit. And that
Yeah.
was the undoing there. Because
Probably.
Apex just played their game. They didn't play Rain's game. And they sort of anticipated Rain's movement where Rain didn't anticipate their movement. And it was very, very good games on both sides. So it was interesting to see.
Yeah.
Very interesting to see. So
Any in
Yeah, it can
total is
happen.
like the server is very, very interesting at the moment because it's sort of way more competitive for those last few top 8 spots at the moment. I think we have about 500 cups between sort of 6 to 8 clans, I think, that are all sort
Yeah.
of vying for those top 8 positions, which is good to see this sort of competition because I think for a while it's sort of been dominated by a few clans, and now to see others coming in is nice.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's fantastic. I mean, I think we've seen a bit more competitiveness across the streams, Asia, EU, and NA.
Yeah.
The MN, the win rate seeding has been that's a great game, by the way, Retro Guy. It really is a great game. I mean, we've seen some strange things happening with the MM seeding, but hang on. Retro Guy, don't be too disappointed you only got a first class there. You're in a 50B, and 5k damage is very, very good. 5 kills is very, very good. But
Yeah.
it's very difficult to get an ace on a 50B currently because a lot of the pros have been playing it because of the tournaments, because they use it in tours. So the bar for that ace is set quite high. It's about, you've got to be hitting about 6k to get this ace.
I did a 7k and only got a first in the 50B the other day. So the ace bar is crazy high at the moment.
Yeah, it's massive high at the moment. Because you guys use them in tours, that's the thing. And so they go out. I mean, I rolled out. They do that.
Yeah, I rolled out in it against in rain just yesterday. Yeah, it's interesting as well how I think the meta's got a lot more varied, which is quite nice. I think a lot more plans have been sort of experimenting with the sort of lineups and tank selection, which is good to see. 'Cause, I mean, obviously, I think last few it's been very much IS4s, E5s on EU a bit more, and just sort of as heavy as possible to get the it's just a benefit from all those heavy buffs that we had. Sort of would have been about a year ago now, probably. But yeah, it's nice to see sort of more mobility coming back into the meta.
Oh, absolutely. And it's not only that. I mean, I was streaming Endgame for PYS number 4, and they've been experimenting with diversity, so they tell me, whereby they've taken tanks that you would not normally expect tanks to be taken. So they on one map they took 2 grills and a 268. It was Oasis Palms actually. So 3 TDs in one game.
Yeah. Actually, I think I saw that one. And was that the one where they shoved the grill sort of right back up in the far corner and then just farmed anything that tried to cross? I think
into the B cap, anything that came into the B cap,
was
annihilated. And it was, it was interesting to watch. And then they on one game, they took all British tanks, and they've taken all auto loaders. They took Leos and this and that. So their argument being that tanks can be effective out there, but the E5 and the Crown Wagon are so dominant at the moment. It's very difficult to do anything. And I can't disagree with that. I mean, the E5 is dominant. Okay, it's prone to an ammo rack or 2, but it's still a dominant tank. And I remember before the E5 got its super duper consumables, then the 215B was like the standard meta, and then the 215B dropped off when the E5 got its super duper consumable. So and I think the Grill has had its Spore liner and stuff to try and get TDs back into the tournament scene. But the thing is, even with the next tier 10 that's coming out, I mean, this tier 10 is a collector, the 260. I don't think it's going to make it as a tournament tank. But the next Tech Tree tier 10 is again another auto loader. And if you look at what we've had released recently in tier 10, starting with the Progetto, followed by the Crown Wagon, followed by the TVP, they're all auto loaders or auto reloaders. And it's sort of the meta sort of changes to do that. In the Crown Wagon is very effective. When it first came out, it was like, it's got the DPM is so bad, no one's going to play it.
I was one of those people that were saying basically I never thought it would be tourney effective, and then you started rolling them out and using that gun depression, and just the total sort of anchorability of a Cran is lovely when you can get it working right. And
that's the thing about the Crown Wagon. The DPM does suck, but its turret armor and its depression is just fantastic.
Yeah, unless you get lucky and hit the colas, which is sort of so hard, and it can be such a sort of strong, just holding tank.
And if you run 2 of them, then the DPM doesn't become an issue because you can farm up, you can sort of parallel them like the 50Bs.
Yeah.
Clans have made effective use of these Crown Wagons. Not only that, they you can put the speed boosts on, and you can get to positions very quickly with that speed boost. So all in all, the clans have got used to it. And wait to see if they're going to get used to the TVP, because if they can get used to that, admittedly it's got a long reload. No, it's not an auto reloader. That is true. It's an auto loader though. Admittedly, it's got a long reload. Yeah. Admittedly, it's got very weak armor. But boy, it's got one hell of a gun when you've got a full clip.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think that's the one
amount it
problem with the
dishes
tank
out.
is, yeah, the fact it's not a reloader. I think it's its interclip reload is maybe just a tad too long for it to be sort of viable across a bunch of maps. Like maybe ones like Canal where it's not always just a straight brawl, and you do have the potential to sort of clip and run.
Yeah.
I know, yeah. We were experimenting with sort of double TVP because rushing D side and then seeing where that led, and it sometimes works, but I think it's very sort of situational and also sort of spawn dependent for a lot of
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I
times.
mean, because it has got the mobility to get around in some places. In Canal, I mean, I saw one clan on EU when the TV first came out, take it out on Canal, took two of them, and they did a full on rush onto the D cap with one tank taking the C cap, and they just put them all on the ridge, overlooking the C cap basically, and managed to just absolutely annihilate everybody who came over to push into C. And it was fantastic to watch. But that's situational. That only works from the one spawn. It only works if you've got, you know, the other tanks in support with you, etc., etc. And I've seen them take them on other maps and get absolutely annihilated. So
yeah, we tried on Vineyards running TVPs for sort of A resets and things, and it really really didn't work out. I think yeah, it's just the reload is, and if you've got a relatively small map or a map where you know it's going to come down to a kill game rather than a cap game, it's just not beneficial to run it. Like it's more beneficial almost to run a Progetto over TVP in those situations because you do at least have the reloading capability in a brawl. And obviously, DM will be
absolutely
somewhat reduced, but you're not waiting 20 seconds to fire your next shots, which is
and
always a bonus.
Exactly, and that's where it becomes crucial. Where you know between the auto loader and the auto reloader, as you say, I mean the Progetto, you haven't got to wait that X amount of time. So, I don't know about that one, Northern Tanker. If you want about which AMX, the AMX M4. It's a good tank. Is it a tawny tank? Again, it's situational. It's got good armor. It's got a decent gun.
Yeah.
It does have a pretty long reload and it's not that mobile, but it's okay. As for the VK90, well, I've seen a lot of those. I've seen a lot of VK90s.
There's a few good spots for VK90s. Have a few very good sort of specific spots and duties on maps. Often sort of resetting stuff where you can go once it's completely hull down. I think the AMX is just sort of power cracked slightly by a few other tanks that just do the same job but slightly better. Like E5s, IS4s, I'd say are probably worthy competitors for the MLE, but yeah, just do it slightly better. And more people will have them as well. So if you're trying to base a strat around an AMX, then you get your tawny team up and realize, oh wait, nobody actually has this tank on our team because
that's the big thing. It's like when it's like when the T22 first came out. You know, I mean, if you were lucky enough to have one, then fantastic. But not everybody had one, and you know, you couldn't wrap your strats around it. You could use it if you had one. That's the main thing.
Yeah. Whereas at least nowadays, I think with the T22, it's been sold so many times. I think most people, if you're willing to spend enough, have got it by this. I think.
Yeah, I think it is. But it's not the tank it used to be because people have also got used to it.
Yeah, I think people know where to pen it as well now. Like you just don't go for the sides, you go for the front pike, and you can only go for the sides if it's starting to sort of side scrape or well, not side scrape, like show its side basically.
Yeah, and this is the thing. I mean, they get used to the tanks as they come out, but I don't think the 260 is. I don't think that's going to make it into the tournament at the moment.
No.
I think clans may experiment with it, but I think there are better tanks out there that you can use.
My replay, by the way.
Yeah. I just think there are better tanks in Tier 10 that you can use over the 260.
And I think it's a bit too weak. I think for maybe sort of that brawling potential. I can think of maybe a few spots because it does have a decent enough turret that you could maybe use that sort of turret, and the DPM is quite nice on it that you could use it as sort of a few positions that might work. But yeah, overall, like I can't see it becoming any kind of tawny dominant tank.
Well, I mean, I mean, if you had the choice, would you take that or the WZ113 in real terms? You'd probably take the 113.
I mean, 113 is has such good DPM, and yes, I mean the traverse and things aren't the greatest, but you can get into some really, really sort of sweet spots where you can just absolutely farm the enemies, especially if you do double 113, like Rain did.
Yeah. Well, 113s are very good, so we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. But I mean, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting what happens next. So, where are you guys now sitting, by the way, in the table after yesterday?
We're in that sort of cluster of a few teams sort of pushing for top 8. I think we're about 600 cups at the moment off that sort of 8th position.
So it's still possible then.
Yeah, we're 12th at the moment. We've got sort of 19,450, and EC, I think. EC are 8th, and they've got 20,000. So still possible. We've got to have a few things go our favour. But yeah.
I mean, the only thing that now becomes crucial is making it into that second day. Trying to get as many cups as possible.
Yeah,
that's the main thing.
Yeah, we had an unlucky sort of, I think previous score 3, we didn't make it into second day through to just unlucky RNG, and then I think we sort of won the first game and then lost the second game due to a few unlucky sort of events, and then we sort of just lost confidence for that third game because we sort of because we had the winning position, and then I think we had sort of two fires on an IS4 sort of wiped it out from 2 shots, pretty much full health, and then another fire on a mouse that sort of won. I think it was Purple's second team, and it won them the game, and then we were just sort of deflated after that and didn't quite make it through. But we're in a decent position at the moment, where I think as long as we can make it through to finals and hopefully pull out a surprise victory against another of the top 8 teams, we might make it in sneakily.
Yeah, well, it's within grasp, as I said. It's not over yet. It's not fully doomed and gloomed. And
totally.
You know, I was saying this to my own clan on EU, where I mean we're riding at 13th at the moment. It's like, oh well, we're out. I said, well, we're not out. You know, the cup difference between 13th and 8th place isn't insurmountable. So you know, don't just throw the towel in just yet. It can be done.
And I think especially on NA as well, there's such fewer clans that you will realistically come up against the people you're sort of vying for those positions against quite early on, and you can knock them out if you do well, and if you're sort of taking those scalps, it can always be a big bonus.
Oh, definitely. Couldn't agree more. And you know, it's going to be interesting to see, because normally towards the tail end of the tours, clans just get a little bit more sort of focused, and it becomes a different type of gameplay, which is always a good thing. It's never a bad thing.
Definitely.
My God, are you just going around in the Sheridan just wiping up?
Yeah, it was a total clean-up job this game.
Unbelievable. And it's like
whatever. But yeah, I mean, this is one thing that I do love the Sheridan for, is just its ability for clean-up jobs is great with that high alpha and mobility.
I mean, the high alpha is very nice, and you're right about the mobility. I mean, and also don't forget it's got that low camo rating as well. So whilst you've got good vision on it, not the best, not as good as the Vickers, but it's still bloody better than the average TD that you're looking to smack. And oddly enough, you're looking to smack a TD.
Yeah, pretty much. I think at this point it just became a sort of game of hide and seek, really. I think we're both sort of one shots for each other, so it's just whoever finds us first, and hopefully I'm like facing the back of the TD. But also got to give a shout out to Mako in this game as well. In the Hori, he helped carry this one as well, which was good to see. As you'd expect from Pramo, but
but the Hori is such an intimidating tank as well. I mean, frontally it's just a hardcore, to be fair.
Yeah,
and a lot of people are struggling against it.
Yeah, if you're a free to play as well, and maybe don't have as much premium ammunition, because obviously it is pretty susceptible to that premium ammunition from the front. But if you don't have that loaded, it can be quite the tricky tank to play against.
Yeah, not the easiest. It's not the easiest. But
No.
yeah, but as you say, I mean, a lot of, you know, oh, hello, you have got the back of him. There you go. Boom.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
And yeah,
Wowzers.
time was running out as well. I was pretty sure
you
we'd be
had
sort of
a
somewhere
couple
in
of
that
seconds
area.
left. A couple of seconds left. But again, you know, I mean, 3,700, just not enough for that ace, even with the 5 kills.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think it was more just the cleanup job was nice, but yeah, maybe 1 or 2 more shots could have got me that ace, especially with it being a Klobanov.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sort of
not in a tournament
one of those
tonight.
sort of shaky hand games at the end of it. You know, when you're sort of hoping and praying that you don't sort of turn that corner and the 268 was looking directly at you, but thankfully it wasn't.
Well, a good game though. Anyway,
Yeah,
I'm
thanks.
going to go. I'm going to go
Yeah,
on the
I
grounds
mean-
that we've been on for a while, and in fact, how long have we been on? Oh, an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. No, 2 hours because
Yeah.
I had to restart the stream.
About 2 hours, I think. Yeah.
So but
Anyway.
it's been great.
Yeah,
So,
great
hang on a
chatting to
minute,
you.
before we go, hang on a minute. People are asking questions. And so,
Oh, yes.
avatars. You want to see my avatars? I've got all crap avatars, to be fair. I've got nothing special. Nothing special. They're just mainly crap. Mainly crap. I'm not a big avatar fan or collector or whatever you call it. I'm just not. So I haven't got anything special in the avatars. Straight pipe. Would pro players still be interested in tournaments if you were forced to use specific types of tanks? For example, 1 TD, 3 meds, lights and 3 heavies. I don't know. I mean, I would have thought pros would still be interested, but one of the good things about tournaments is that they get to choose the tanks. So,
Yeah. I mean, I know there's been sort of unofficial tournaments and things done where you have restrictions like this, and there's still been a pretty decent sign up. So maybe. I mean, it might be interesting seeing sort of how people approach a meta like that. Because obviously it's not really the meta at the moment to run such a light sort of lineup. But yeah, might be interesting.
Yeah, but as Alfar says, it would be pretty weird. I mean, I think instead of saying you're restricted to the specific types, I think a better question would be, would the pros be interested if they were restricted to only playing tech tree tanks? That would be an interesting question.
Ooh. Thing is though, E5s, IS4s,
Exactly.
Crans,
I mean, the only premium
as
there
well.
is the T22. That's the only real premium.
Yeah.
Mr. MBR, what will it take to bring meds and TDs back to the tourney play? Well, meds. One of the reasons why the heavies got their HP increased was because meds were dominating too much, and it sort of devalued the idea behind the heavies. So, you know, I don't think they're gonna. There's not much they can do to keep that balance. TDs are a bit different. Because TDs were never dominating anyway. And the thing about TDs is that they're meant to be in a position to sort of smack you just behind the heavies, etc., etc. The problem with that is that the meta at the moment, with the likes of the E5s, etc., etc., there's no need to use a TD in real terms because the gameplay is a little bit too more sort of aggressive for a TD to work. Unless you want to sit at the back waiting for the other team to come, doesn't generally work unless you. Castilla, it works because it's realistically Camp Stilla, so you're just jockeying for position to begin with. But
Canal as well, I think maybe.
Canal it can work.
You can use a few on, but I think as well, just TDs are so easily focused at the moment as well. People have learned that you know the TD spots by now on the maps, and unless you're sort of putting it in a very sort of novel position where it's not going to get spotted, but it's also not going to get blind fired. I think TDs are just too much of a risk for reward.
What's the most damage I've ever done in a TD? I think the most damage I ever did in a TD was just over 8k, and that was in a Jaegeroo. I can't remember what the damage. It was a while back now. Martin Dogger once featured it in one of his games of the week. So
Nice.
So that was the most damage I ever did in a TD. And I think I've skirted around the 8k mark in a couple of tanks. I've never broken more than 8.2 really. To get past the 8K mark, you really need to have a team that is clueless on the other side.
Yeah.
To be honest.
At that point, it just starts to get towards luck, I think, more than. I mean, you can be you have to have skill to do that anyway, but at the same time, getting past that is luck.
Yeah.
And the only time I broke the 8K barrier was complete luck on sort of dead rail of each team just sat sort of, you know, where the heavies always usually sort of brawl on the ridge line, and I was in a bat shat and I could just farm basically every heavy on the enemy team, and that's the thing. It just came down to luck.
Well, that was the same with me with the Jaegeru. The first time I ever did it, we were on Oasis Palms, and basically they had a bat chat, they had a Leo PTA and a Leo 1. Funnily enough, and all three of them decided to come right past me, whilst I had HE loaded. Not my fault.
Well, yeah, that is sort of the ideal thing you want as a Jaeger driver.
It was very nice, and then I think they had an IS-8 as well, who decided to turn around and run away from me and show me his back plate, which also likes HE, by the way. So it was an
people underestimate the Jaegeru HE. I think.
They do. Well, I can tell you now that Leo 1, that Leo PTA, and the back chat. They one-shotted all of them, so I don't think they underestimate. I don't think they underestimate it anymore.
No, sort of the kind of thing that you learn pretty quickly not to do that again.
Yeah, no, I don't think they will do that again. But yeah, you're right. I mean, a lot of people. It's like people say to me, which do I prefer? Do I prefer the Jaegeru or the 183? I don't like the 183. And if you were to give me the two TDs, I would always take the Jaegeru. It's got better reload. It's got similar damage output. And it's got armor. I mean, what more do you want?
Yeah.
And it's got a better camera profile, funnily enough. So I do like the Jaegeru.
Yeah.
In fact, I mean, the other day I did a video on it. The day that they brought out the new the Jagdpanzer E100. The day they brought out the new camo. I just took it out for a spin. I think I did something like 6.3k damage in one game for an ace.
Nice.
I was like, wow, that's nice.
Yeah.
But I love the tank. I
so,
think it's a fantastic tank.
I think I'd say one slight problem with it is sort of the skill cap of the Jaegeru is a bit sort of like it's hard to master. I'd say.
Yeah.
But once you do, it can be a pretty dominant tank.
Yeah, exactly. And I do like it, and I mean, I get on that. I get on better with that than the 183. I'm not a big fan of the 183, and I've always argued the 183 should have been the Collector, and the Badger should have been the Tech Tree. But
Ooh, yeah.
Anyway,
I do like the Badger. Badger is a fun one to play as well.
Oh, it's absolutely
We
brilliant.
could go on for days talking about these
could.
these wonderful tanks.
But what we're going to do, we're going to leave it there. So thank everybody for popping in. We had a lengthy chat about a few subjects. Sorry about all the glitches. That is, now the game stopped. It's not glitching so much, as you can tell. And right. Well, big thank you to everybody popping in. Big thank you for everybody on Discord. Big thank you to all those sending in their replays. And I would say a big thank you to the mods who are no longer in the chat for keeping the chat nice and healthy, because that's always the way. I'll be back again later. Oh, and obviously a big thank you for Jake for becoming a member. I'm back again later.
No problem.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I'll do an EU stream later today, even though I don't normally do them on Saturdays, because I've only got today and tomorrow. And tomorrow I'm doing a tour with Immel, so I'll do a stream later today on EU just to have a bit of a laugh and a giggle. And I'm back again fully to do the streams for the tours on Monday when they recommence. So until then, guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll catch you all soon. Thanks for popping in, and bye for now.